Days after the BBMP served notices on commercial establishments to display signages in Kannada prominently, a pro-Kannada group has staged violent protests in parts of Bengaluru against establishments that did not have Kannada signboards and nameplates.
Amid the protests over here, you can see an ambulance, in fact, that's struggling to progress ahead. Remember that the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike today, in fact, has called on protests in Bengaluru city demanding Kannada signages. Well, even at this point in time, as there are several police personnel deployed here, you can see that the ambulance, in fact, unfortunately, of course, struggling to progress ahead. Remember that this protest comes even as the Karnataka government has set a deadline of the month of February for all of these establishments to put up Kannada signages. But despite that, we are seeing violent protests today. A hotel has been vandalized. A signboard, in fact, one of the bigger billboards over here on the main airport road has in fact been ripped down. In fact, we're seeing massive traffic jams being reported and people being inconvenienced at the end of the day owing to this massive protest here. Well, of course, it remains to be seen as to when things are restored to normalcy over here.
ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ ಆದೇಶ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ ಆದೇಶ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಮಹಾನಗರ ಪಾಲಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಆದೇಶ. ಆ ಆದೇಶವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಪಾಲಿಸಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಪಾಲಿಸಿರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ. ತಾತ್ಕಾಲಿಕ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹಾಕಿರೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ, ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು, ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ನಾಮಫಲಕವನ್ನ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಹಂಗಿದ್ದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇದು ಹರಿಯು ಉಳಿವಿನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಇಲಾಖೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಹತ್ತಿಕ್ಕೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದಾರಿ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದಂಧೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗಲಾಟೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
And the protesters demand immediate implementation of an order that will require businesses to feature 60% of their signs in Kannada. Listen in.
At their outlets, the Karnataka Rakshana Vedike and other pro-Kannada outfits in the state of Karnataka are staging a massive procession today. Remember that the government has already set a deadline of February for all commercial establishments to, in fact, set up Kannada signages at their commercial establishments or face legal action. In fact, you can see the kind of ruckus that the workers of the KRV and other outfits here have created. They've gone on to disrupt the entire normalcy at this hotel that we're seeing right now, wherein, in fact, people, of course, at this point in time were staying inside this very hotel. We are, of course, going to further tell you that at this very hotel, there are no Kannada signages at this point in time. We're going to try speaking with someone who's been residing at this hotel. Ma'am, what happened really? It seems like there was absolute chaos here.
I was just taking my breakfast on the balcony. And I saw that the mob is coming. Why? What is there any protest or something? And all of a sudden, I could see that they have started throwing stones on the guard. Here they started attacking this board, hair boards, these things. And I said that are they going to attack our hotel? They may do anything. We have to leave. We have to protect ourselves. Otherwise, we don't know. They can do anything because it is a mob.
And these violent protests have brought city life to a standstill. This even as the Bengaluru civic body did earlier give the deadline of 28th February to shop owners to install 60% Kannada nameplates, and BBMP commissioner warning violators of strict action if they did not comply. Take a look at this ground report.
Most unfortunate that even as you have these protesters here today being confronted, even as I've asked the protesters myself why they're taking the law into their own hands, they said that it is their right and they will. In fact, just to give you perspective, look at this massive traffic jam that's piled up right behind us. This is the kind of inconvenience that people are being put through today, despite, of course, the traffic police being on ground, despite them putting in their best efforts. This is a spillover onto the sub-arterial roads that you can see here. Having said that, of course, like you rightly mentioned, whether, this is something that the Karnataka government is going to act upon very seriously, because this is not the first time we've seen these very same protesters, the same Kannada outfits, taking law into their own hands in the past as well, creating absolute havoc and ruckus on the roads, inconveniencing people. Well, of course, like you rightly mentioned earlier, the demand for wanting Kannada signages is something which the government has already mandated. But for them to be taking law into their own hands like this is a question, for them to be turning violent.